Let's watch some of the historic events happened in Albania. Albania is a small Balkan country located in Southeast Europe, known for its stunning mountain landscapes, rich cultural heritage, and tumultuous political history. Let's look at some of the historic events now. Number 1. Albanian rebellion against the Ottoman Empire. In 1443, Skanderbeg, an Albanian nobleman and military commander, launched a rebellion against the Ottoman Empire, which had been expanding into the Balkans for several decades. Skanderbeg had served in the Ottoman army for many years but defected and returned to his homeland to lead the resistance. He formed the League of Lazi, which brought together various Albanian principalities and tribes to fight against the Ottomans. Skanderbeg's leadership and military tactics proved successful, and the rebellion lasted for over 2 decades. Skanderbeg became a national hero and symbol of Albanian resistance to foreign domination. His legacy continues to be celebrated in Albania and among Albanian diaspora communities around the world. Number 2. Albania independence. Albania declared its independence from the Ottoman Empire on November 28, 1912, after a successful uprising by Albanian nationalists. The independence movement had been growing for decades, fueled by a desire for greater autonomy and recognition of Albanian culture and language. The Declaration of Independence was initially met with opposition from neighboring states and the great powers of Europe, but Albania was eventually recognized as an independent state in 1913 after the conclusion of the First Balkan War. This marked the beginning of a new era for Albania, as it struggled to build a stable and prosperous nation amidst political instability and economic challenges. November 28 is celebrated as Albania's Independence Day, commemorating the country's hard-fought struggle for self-determination. Number 3. Albania during World War II. Albania played a complex and often turbulent role during World War II. Initially, the country remained neutral, but it was occupied by Italian forces in April 1939. During the war, Albanian territory was the site of fierce fighting between Italian and Greek forces, as well as resistance movements and guerrilla fighters. In 1943, the Germans occupied Albania after Italy's surrender, and the country became a base for German operations in the Balkans. Meanwhile, Albanian partisans continued to fight against the occupation, with support from Allied powers. After the war, Albania emerged as a communist state under the leadership of Enver Hoxha, who ruled with an iron fist for more than 4 decades. The war had a profound impact on Albania, both in terms of the devastation and loss of life it caused, and in terms of the country's political and social transformation in the aftermath. Number 4. Albania ruled by communist government. Albania was ruled by a communist government under the leadership of Enver Hoxha from 1944 until 1991. During this period, Albania was isolated from the rest of the world and pursued a policy of strict self-reliance and Marxist-Leninist ideology. The Hoxha regime implemented policies of collectivization and nationalization, seeking to transform Albania into a socialist utopia. The regime also engaged in repression and persecution of political opponents, intellectuals, and religious groups. The state controlled all aspects of life, including the media, education, and the economy. Albania's international relations were limited to a few other communist countries, such as China and the Soviet Union. Despite these efforts, Albania remained one of the poorest countries in Europe, with a struggling economy and widespread poverty. After the fall of the Soviet Union and the collapse of communism in Eastern Europe, Albania began a process of democratization and economic reform. Today, Albania is a multi-party democracy and a candidate for European Union membership. Number 5. Albania during Kosovo War. During the Kosovo War in the late 1990s, Albania became a key supporter of ethnic Albanian rebels fighting against Serbian forces in neighboring Kosovo. The conflict created a humanitarian crisis, with tens of thousands of ethnic Albanian refugees fleeing Kosovo into Albania. The Albanian government provided assistance to these refugees, including food, shelter, and medical care. Albania also allowed NATO to use its territory for military operations against Serbia, including the deployment of troops and the use of Albanian airbases for airstrikes. The Kosovo War had a significant impact on Albania, leading to an influx of refugees and increased tensions with neighboring countries, but also cemented its close relationship with the United States and NATO. With that, we bring to the end of our video. Thank you for watching. Do share and subscribe for more videos.